Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another edition of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. Today's show, man, you know, it's crazy, man, that Deion Sanders is still in the news because he's going to be in the news all year long. It's a national spectacle, and everybody's trying to take their digs at Deion Sanders. When he first took over the Colorado Buffaloes, he had his comments to say. A lot of people took exception to some of the things that he said, forcing a lot of guys to jump in the transfer portal. But today's show, man, Deion finally claps back at Colorado State's head coach, Jay Norvell. And he did it in a subtle way, only ways that Deion Sanders could do it. But before we get off into this show, man, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you'll know when Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Also, I post comments. I read all comments. I respond to comments. I post all your comments on upcoming shows of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. And I just want to thank you guys for all your support. And, today's show is sponsored by...
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Once again, thanks to my man Brian Kellen and his wife over there at True Choice Insurance. You guys visit them on the website for all your insurance needs. All you got to do is go to www.truechoiceinsurance.com and tell them K-Sap sent you. Well, Deion is one of them guys that when he speaks, man, it's very noticeable on things that he says. But he takes a different approach from a lot of people. So, in recent, weeks, the backlash he's gotten from his press game conferences, after the game, the victory of TCU, he went on and, one of the reporters asked him a question about certain things, and Deion cut him off and said, now do you believe? The guy didn't want to answer the question. He said, believe in what? And Deion said, you still don't believe. He said, next question. So then you go into the game against Nebraska. They had their home opener in Boulder, Colorado at Folsom Field, and they came out victorious. And, Deion had a lot to say at his post-game press conference, and a lot of people take exception to things that Deion says. So now leading up to this week's game against Colorado State, an in-state, showdown, Coach Jay Norvell, he had his post-game, not the post-game press conference, but he had his press conference leading up, to the game today. And he had some things to say. And maybe, he could have chose a little different route on some of the things that he said. But he said some things that, really, irritated a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't understand why he made those particular comments. But you guys, if you saw yesterday on ESPN First Take, First Take was live in Boulder, Colorado, and Deion was a guest on the show, and also Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter was there as well. But when Deion's segment came on, they introduced him, brought him on, and it was funny because of the comments that Jay Norvell said. Deion presented Molly, Stephen A., and Shannon with a pair of the sunglasses that Jay Norvell made reference to in some of his comments. So now it's not even about the comments that Jay Norvell said. Now it's about, booming Deion Sanders' business brand with the sunglasses. So now it's a national thing. If you guys go back and look at what Shedeur Sanders did when Matt Rule made his comments, and they met Shedeur at the Buffalo when he came out to do his warm-up, and Shador flexed the rollie on him. Now that's a national thing because Rick Ross has taken, heed to it and posted on his Instagram at Jay Sanders. When somebody gets in your face, all you do is throw up the wristwatch. I don't care if it's an Adidas watch, Nike watch, or a Fit watch. Just throw the watch up. We call that the Shador. But in these recent comments that Jay Norvell said, Molly had, asked Deion, like, what do you think about the comments that, Jay Norvell said? And Deion was like, well, at first, two, black head coaches going back and forth. It was all about football. And then, he was blindsided by the comments. So Molly said, well, we're going to play a clip and we're going to take a listen to what, Jay Norvell said. And this is what Jay Norvell said.
We had to do a bunch of ESPN videos, and it was great. I loved it. But our kids came out of those videos really with a chip on their shoulder. They're tired of all that stuff. They really are tired of it. And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. So, they're not going to like us no matter what we say or do. It doesn't matter, okay? So let's go up there.
So that's really, what Jay Norvell had to say, man. And, a lot of people don't understand where the comments came from. A lot of people were saying, who were the idiots in the background that was clapping, when he made that statement to say that, that's how my mother raised me. But like I said in previous, shows, I'm like, I've never heard of a mother raising their kids to take their hats off or their glasses off when you're speaking to a grown-up. I've heard of the saying, you don't sit around at the table with your hat off when you're eating and things like that, but never have I once heard, a mother raise a child and say, hey, when a grown-up is speaking to you, you make sure you take your glasses and hats off, regardless of what kind of glasses you're wearing. They're glasses. So, Deion has really made a whole joke about the whole thing, and he's capitalizing off of it because now what he has done, he had, glasses, sent to his office. He gifted his whole team with a pair of them sunglasses, which them Deion sunglasses are real nice. I'd like to get my hands on a pair as well. But, they went off to ask Deion about, the comments and things like that. And Deion, in his own little way, said some things, and it's comical because this is, what Deion had said to his team, and this is how he clapped back at Jay Norvell. So we're going to listen to what Deion said, and when we get back, we'll get off into it.
I'm trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I can be, and I look up and I read some bullshit that they're saying about us. Once again, why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts off, and do our job on Saturday. But when they give us ammunition, they done messed around and made it what? Made it personal. Messed around and made it personal. It was going to be a great test, a battle in Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal. Until last year, guard.
Man, I find that kind of comical, man. And see the way Deion responded, he kept it football, but he said it's personal. He didn't take a dig at Jay Norvell. He didn't take a shot at him. He just basically said, yeah, he made it personal. He said he was, preparing for the week, and he looked up, and this is what they had to say about him and the Colorado team. So, Deion told his guys, like he always does in the pregame speech and after practice, before they break it down, he just said, hey, now it's personal. He said it was going to be a good game, a great test, but now it's personal. So look for Colorado to come out to dominate Colorado State. Just, they're giving Deion Sanders and his team more fuel each week to go out there and, put their talent on display And, you know, it's a lot of pressure that Jay Norvell put on his team as well to perform, you know. So Colorado State's 0-1. Colorado is 2-0. But, you know, you guys, you got to, you know, take this and be like, hey, you know, Deion got the sports world on blaze, man. And a lot of people are just, you know, coming for Deion. I think they just need to let, you know, bygones be bygones. You know, Deion is coming in with that same swag he did when he played. It's successful. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're waiting in the way. They waiting in the ways, man. They waiting in the winds, man, to see Deion take that first L so they can, you know, come and tell everybody, I told you so, I told you so. So, but that's what they're waiting for, man. But, you know, I find it, you know, comical the way Deion, you know, replied, you know, nothing big, nothing major. He just, you know, kept it all about football, was telling this team they made it personal. So, I mean, it's been personal, you know, for Deion for a minute because of when he took over the job. You know, a lot of guys said that, you know, it wasn't going to work. How's he going to overhaul this roster and think he's going to be successful? But he's been successful so far. I know it's only 2 weeks in, going into the third week today. But, you know, they got the late game tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. But it's going to be a good game. And, you know, I just think they just need to leave Deion alone, man. But, you know, it's good for business, man. I mean, it has the sports world. You know, it has all their eyes on Boulder, Colorado, and Folsom Field, man. And even though you're not a fan of Colorado, but you're watching. Like I said, I'm a Notre Dame fan, and, you know, but my eyes is on this Colorado Buffalo team. So it's very interesting, man. You guys leave a comment, you know, down in the comment section, how y'all feel about, you know, these coaches and media outlet taking, you know, jabs at Deion, and he's prevailing every time, and he's just casually going out doing his job. But, you know, just let me know how you feel, what you think. And like I said, if y'all have any questions and y'all want to, you know, be a guest on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast, all you have to do is email us at ask.us@simplybaldropping.com, and, you know, we'll respond to you. And anything that you want to talk about, we will talk about. But, you know, just leave your comments below. Like I said, I respond to all comments. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.